Oh no, broken. Hang on, let's see if I can find it. Not the snow. No, I don't want any snow. I've got the clock. I'll start the clock. I'll just let it run for a few seconds. The reason for having the clock is that we're going live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and different connection times. So we've got to wait for everything to get connected. We'll just go down to 30 seconds, just for tradition's sake. We say hello to our listeners on Royston Radio. Happy Saturday to you. Hope the sun is shining and the thunderstorms don't go anywhere near Royston, because we're promised weather which is going to be thundery over the weekend. So I'm going to stop the clock. It says stop there, and that should work. I'm going to take the clock off. Just a minute, Peter. Just take the clock off. And then I'm going to bring this gentleman into the studio. Oh, wait a minute. He's getting his drink. He's going to have a drink first. I knew he was. So he's just having a drink. Okay, I'll let him do that. Good morning, Peter.
Morning.
How are you?
Halfway between good and bad.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, let John join us.
Hiya.
Hi.
Good
Halfway
morning.
between good and bad. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Right. Okay. So on with
Does
the
that
show.
mean
Welcome.
he's average?
Sorry?
Does that mean he's average if he's halfway between good and bad?
I don't know. You get problems and then you sort them out. And
Yeah.
then you feel better for it. Which
True. Yeah.
and this morning in my studio, Sheila and I come in and we blitzed it.
Okay.
It's the best it's looking, you know?
Mhm.
And it makes me feel better because it's not all cluttered.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to do some decluttering.
I've moved to a store and I'm getting it's an amazing amount of rubbish that in my industry that I build up. But what a cost to get rid of old rat poison and everything. Very expensive. It's all about bills again. Yeah, that'll be £240 for 2 tires from my van. Yeah, that'll be £500 to get rid of your rubbish. You know?
Yeah.
And then people say, is that how much you have to kill a wasp nest? Yes. Look at his bills I've got to pay. And
Yeah.
you're going to be helping me pay it.
That's it. When you've got a skill set, people think, okay, it's only taking him 10 minutes. No, it's not. It's taking him 10 years to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that gets forgotten, isn't it? Anyway, just to get this official, this is Blabbing for Britain, episode 378. Getting closer and closer to that magic 400. And yeah. Now, we were just talking, John, about glasses. Can we give an example, Peter? I know listeners won't be able to see this, but there is a problem. Peter's looking good, but there's a reflection in his glasses. John, what would you do?
Buy a non-reflective pair of glasses.
But
Mine are reflective as well, but you can get your glasses with a non-reflective coating.
Can you?
Yeah,
even with your own, what do you call it, prescription lenses?
It's one of the options they offer at the opticians is non-reflective.
But here's the thing. If you get that, right, can you assure me that it won't show on my screen? What does it mean by non-reflective?
It means that they're not like aviators glasses where you can't see anything through, but you should be able to see no reflection on them because you've got people like TV presenters and all those, and you, me, and Stephen, who use the broadcasting facilities. So it's a common thing these days.
Because it's annoying me.
Yeah. I mean, there are thousands of, you don't, when you're broadcasting live, you don't actually need your prescription glasses. You just need glasses you can actually see the screen with. So reading glasses. And reading glasses are inexpensive. I mean, I bought 5 pairs for £15 from Amazon. God knows where 2 of them are, but I do know where 3 of them are.
So did they have your prescription lens?
No, it's just it's basically, it goes according to age, really. Well, you're going to Boots, yeah, and they've got the reading glasses there, and it says try the glasses on until you can read this text.
Yes.
And when you can read the text, that's the strength you need.
Well, mine's just 2.5. I know that.
Yeah. Mine too.
Because the one eye is different from the other. But I need to know it's not going to reflect.
That's it. Well, it's non-reflective, as John said. I'm just looking on Amazon, and it doesn't seem. There are thousands of different reading glasses, but non-reflective doesn't appear in the description. So
yeah, because everything has got glasses coming up.
Well, I typed in non-reflective reading glasses, and Amazon has sent me oodles of different ones. But John's going to find the one. I know he's researching.
John's the researcher's going to do it. Right. But anyway, I need to wear my
anti-reflective and anti-glare coating glasses. Spec Smart. .co.uk.
Okay, let's have a look at
Cost?
that.
Can you give a price? Right, whilst they're doing that, I'd like to, because they're both researching at the moment. Last night, something that's not happened for 43 years happened, and that's
West Ham won.
West Ham won a trophy in the 90th minute of the game, and they won 2-1. So, I mean, I've been following David Moyes since his Everton days, so I'm on his side, and for him to actually win a European trophy, it's the apex of his career so far, and to have that on your CV, absolutely brilliant. Given the quality of the team he's got at the moment, it's one heck of an achievement. So congratulations to West Ham and to David Moyes, and of course West Ham playing what colours, John?
Claret and blue, of course.
Claret and blue, which just happens to be the Burnley colours too. And now you're about to point out Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Well.
I think the best bit of the evening, I didn't watch it live because I'm afraid we had a damn committee meeting and they wouldn't stop wittering on last night. I think you know what they're like though. Yabba yabba yabba. The best bit I saw in the replay bits I have watched was when he put the medal around his dad's neck. His dad's 87.
Yeah. Magical moments. And we say hello to Alfredo. Alfredo, hello, greetings from California, USA. So that's the West Coast, and it is currently 2 o'clock in the morning. Good morning, Alfredo, definitely. I've got a feeling it's still night, but thanks for joining us. Yeah, okay.
I think Alfredo's got a new job, hasn't he? I'm sure I saw a post in the last couple of days saying he'd got a job offer. Is that right, Alfredo?
Alfredo, tell us more. Yes.
Because we've known him a long time.
This is true, we have. What's occurring in Aberdeen, Peter?
The what, sorry?
What's happening in Aberdeen?
The big thing just now, we've got a place called Union Street, and a very, very multi-millionaire who built an oil company up here. He's trying to do good for the city by trying to get rejuvenating the city centre because it's absolutely dead. And as soon as he puts anything up, the moaners come on. Yeah, what about this? What about that? Yeah. And when you ask them what they think they should do, they haven't got an answer. And it really hacks us off. You know, people try to do good for the city. And Because at the moment, our famous Union Street is full of second-hand clothes shops, charity shops, beg your pardon, vape shops, stuff like that, you know. We're losing the character of our city centre. And they're never happy. Never. And there's more moaners than there is congratulators. Somebody says, yeah, I bet these consultants are making a fortune. And I put a post up. I got slaughtered. Yes, yeah. These consultants have got to make their money while they can, because it will be short-lived. It'll be maybe a 2-year project for them. So they've got to make money if they're the consultant. And they just can't see people making money for doing their job. Of course, it's going to be a higher price because it's short-lived. Divers in the North Sea, they don't have a long working life because their body's under pressure and everything, so they get paid well for it. But people get jealous. And that's the problem we've got here at the moment. No matter what we do. No matter what we do. Hence, I don't do a lot of posts in media, but I will say that I got I'm one of their top contributors, but I'm very, very careful what I say.
We have to be careful. Over to Alfredo. Alfredo is saying, also finished. Oh, wait a minute. Let's come back. Yes, I got a job offer in tech support at Amazon. That's a question. And also saying he's finished his classes in cybersecurity and we're rebranding my content, leaning towards those concepts. Talking of security, there's been a hack this week, hasn't there?
Is there?
Yeah, big hack, including the BBC. John, over to our cybersecurity reporter.
Sorry, this cybersecurity reporter hasn't really had much time this week to get involved in looking at such things, because we've had several visits to the hospital this week. So BBC, and I am aware that there was a big hack into personnel information, but I haven't paid much attention to it because of other things.
I thought you were going to wait to say there, John, I haven't paid them anything. Now, will they
regularly get these? We've hacked in and pay my 5 million mile long thing $150, or we'll post pictures on the internet.
Yeah. But basically, a bit more information. It was HR records, and they have threatened to release these HR records publicly. It is Russian hackers, supposedly, and they are demanding a ransom to prevent them from publishing. So security is ultra important.
One of the best hacker things I remember from years ago, I think it was a French minister, and they said, we have got pictures of you in positions with a lady. He says, oh, great. He says, I'll have 2 of them, 3 of them. To show my friends I'm not an old man anymore. I can still do it. Voila. I thought it was terrific.
Okay, let's go to Alfredo, catch up with Alfredo and take that off there. And Alfredo saying, he left Amazon Logistics in January, so catch up.
Jan 22, that's 18 months.
Yeah. And Amazon Career Choice helped him upskill talent so can transition into cybersecurity. Well, it's good to know that they are a supportive firm. Right, okay. Anything happening in Solihull, John?
No.
Right, okay, that's that bit.
Yeah, you can hear now. You can hear or you can't hear now proof that Chris works, because the house behind me, and it's a fair distance because I have a pretty big garden and theirs isn't too small. Their alarm is going off, but you can't hear it, can
No.
you?
No,
Nope.
but don't mention crisp to me because
Window's open because there's a bloody blue bottle that keeps flying around, and I'm trying to encourage it to leave.
okay, guys, I've got one heck of a problem with crisp just now. I've had to send her a quick. If my email from one email is so slow from Gmail, by the time the code comes, it runs out, and I'm just in a permanent loop. So I've written to them, all to do with passwords, and I thought Dashlane was going to solve everything for me, but it hasn't, and it's really hacking me off. It really is. So I'm paying for crisp, and it's not working.
Well,
Do you know, I've given up with Bitwarden as well. It's just driven me mad. I have to spend half my life typing in the master password.
Mm.
Mine requests the master password every 14 days, and that's Dashlane. But the thing is, but getting this code back so you can actually carry on, basically trying to do that on the iPad, Gmail on the iPad runs slowly, super slow.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to get any codes, I actually use the mobile.
Right.
Yeah. The email on mobile is faster than fasting. It's the best way to actually get emails.
I'm seriously thinking looking to get rid of Gmail and going to Outlook for my business because it all gets crumpled up together, and it's horrible.
If you use Outlook for your business, you can have your Gmail fed into your Outlook, so you see it all in one place.
Yeah, but that's what Gmail does at the moment. It feeds everything into one place. Gmail.
No, John's saying that if you've got several different email addresses, you can bring them all into
Outlook.
But that's what I've done with Gmail too.
Right.
Because one of my business email, info@aberkill.uk, right?
Yeah.
It takes 2 days to arrive with a message. That's an exaggeration.
That's not Gmail that's at fault. That's where your email is hosted that's at fault.
Yeah, I have looked into it, and it is a phenomenon that a lot of people write about it. It's a well-known problem. It's maybe due with cash, but it's doing my head in. I may just go away from it altogether. I'll tell you what is good though. Google Meet's very good, and it's free.
Yeah.
Pick one email client. Yeah.
But
yeah, Alfredo.
It doesn't matter which client you use. If your hosting is causing the problem, it's going to be crap wherever you collect from.
It just annoys me because I get so many stuff on my personal email, and then I even tried to set up what do you call it? If this comes in that mentions Aberkill, go here sort of thing. What do they call that? A folder.
Well, you're just placing it in a folder, aren't you? You've written
a rule. That's not working. I've had enough. Been with them a long time. I was thinking of getting business Gmail accounts as well.
Yeah, I've had my Gmail account, business one, for tens of years.
Okay, and does that come in separate from your personal one?
Yeah, my personal one is moneyuk@gmail.com.
But how does that work on a phone, for instance? Do you have one Gmail app?
One Gmail app, and you can switch between accounts.
I'm looking.
You can do exactly the same on Outlook on the phone as well.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And Alfred is advising pick one email client, and why have so many? Because we've got different hats, Alfredo. We've got a personal hat, we've got business hats, and there might be more than one business hat. Google Meet is free, but there's a 60-minute usage applies, and it's up to 60 minutes. You just disappear in a puff of smoke.
It is very good. I mean, I've just cancelled Zoom, and if I don't use this platform, I may cancel it because I'm saving pennies. And when you look at the pennies you spend out, it's amazing.
Oh, it adds up. It adds up when you've got monthly subscriptions here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my accountant got a shock the other day. I was digging deep into it. What was this for? Why is that? Why is that so much? Yes. What do you reckon an accountant's fee should be for the end of year turnover?
Well, I pay, but you're a limited company. It's
No,
much
I'm not
more
a limited
expensive.
company.
You're
I'm
not
not
a
a
limited
limited.
company.
No.
Well, last year I paid £284 for my accounts and tax form submission.
Wow, that's cheap. Stephen, what do you reckon it was your accountant? What is it? Is it about
It's
5%, 10%?
about the same level of John's. I mean, I'm a sole trader as well, so it's not overcomplicated.
No, but when you worked for a firm and you dealt with big firms, was it a percentage of their turnover?
You've lost me.
Right. They reckon it should be X amount percent of your turnover. What the accountant's fee should be end of the year.
Well, I can see them banding it and saying if your turnover is up to 100,000, it's this price. If it's up to 500,000, it's this price. If it's over $1 million, this price.
Yeah.
So I can see them banding it. And quite probably there's a cartel going on, Peter, and they're all charging the same.
So what we are doing now is most of my stuff's credit card payment now. So I've told the guys, we've got a bet on it. They weren't using it. It says from now on, we give them the invoice direct from the machine. Yeah. But there's so many platforms out there. It's crazy. But I'll have to look into it. I might have an Outlook and a Gmail for the personal stuff.
I use both. Yeah.
Right.
But everything ends up in one place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have to go from Outlook to Gmail to see everything. But if I've got a Gmail message that arrives in Outlook, I will generally swap to Gmail to reply to that message. So the string stays in one place. But I can see everything in Outlook.
Stephen, how much do you pay a month for your business account?
I think it's about £12.
Okay, so you can get one for £4 a month per person, right? And if I go to Outlook, we'll also get all the Excels and the Word, and that means that everything's in one platform. If somebody puts out a message to a customer, I'll be able to see it. And then I would personally have two apps. I'd have an Outlook app and a Gmail app. And Outlook would be purely business.
I mean, there are no wrong solutions. There's only one solution which is right for you, and we're all different. We're all in different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, the benefit of doing Gmail business is, of course, I've got terabyte of storage on there, which I'm never going to use.
Yeah.
And I've got all the Google Business Suite as well. So yeah, slides.
I think Word and that's better, but it's a challenge because I've looked at on the internet and said, what's best, Gmail or Outlook? And
the answer is use both. You know,
yeah.
It's not hard to use both, but you know, I have Office 365, which is £11 a month roughly.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah,
and I have Gmail free. But I do have 100 gigabyte of Google for £15 a year, which backs up my photos off my phone. And at the same time, they're backed up to Office 365. So if I had a disaster on Office 365, I can still go and recover all my photos from Google.
So there you go, folks. It's
for £15 a year. It's the best insurance you can buy. Yeah. Today, I only ever carry my SLR, even though it's a good quality Nikon SLR digital. Because when I get off this, stunning. You know.
SLR, is that a phone?
It's a camera.
Lens reflex camera, yeah.
Oh, right. I'm looking for one of them. Send a link. But there you go, folks. Royston. This is what happens. This is the challenges for self-employed people when we don't have an IT department and we don't have our own accounts department. We are everything as solo entrepreneurs, and it can cost you if you get someone else to do it. But I don't like counting, but it was someone else I was going to say to you. I'll tell you the biggest challenge I've got as well. When your computer opens up, Microsoft wants to take over Edge, but I go for the Google button, the Chrome button. What happens with you guys?
You just make Google your default browser.
Yeah, I tell Edge where to go.
I
Yeah.
have Edge only because if I'm doing some web development for somebody, I need to test it on Edge.
That's right. You need a second browser in case something goes wrong on the first. If Chrome did an update and it didn't work, then you need somewhere else to go. Now I use Brave as my second browser, and Brave is, well, it's faster than Chrome because it doesn't have all the guns in there.
Yeah.
It's a lean machine. It's a cut down version. Well, no, an improved version which goes faster.
But here's the thing. If you get updates to your 365 now, I think you've got to use Edge to do it. Correct me if I'm wrong, not right.
No. Everything works fine using the Google browser to do updates for Microsoft. It's a long time since they forced you to use their browser.
Okay, right. John, you're going to have to meet me one day and come into my computer and do it and show me. This is why I keep on the show, folks. That's what friends are for.
Alfredo say he uses Google Edge and Firefox. I have Firefox. Again, I use Firefox when I'm testing web development. But they don't do a lot of web development these days.
No. Wow.
Because there's so many little boys in their back bedroom that do it for pennies. You can't make any money in web development.
No.
5 rules the roost.
What I'm wanting to know is how clear is my picture today?
Just a minute, Peter. Let's put you full screen. Listeners on the radio, Peter is looking. Peter's picture behind him is of Aberdeen, of course. What's the seaway behind you, Peter?
Well, see that nice looking building there?
Yeah.
That's Aberdeen Harbour Board, right?
Right.
And that looks out to sea, and the pilot boat's controlled from there. That is a tug, right?
It is a tug, yeah.
Yeah. And if you see behind you the beautiful grey granite of Aberdeen, and if you look, well, what would it? To the left, you see another ship, right? You see it? No.
No, we've only got one.
Right.
Oh, no, there's two. There's one above the blue bits, and there's one to the left.
No. Look at those. If you look at that ship, and then you look at that cylindrical towers, they are quite high, right? So look at that other boat, right? Now, if you had to jump into the North Sea if a boat was on fire or something, that is one heck of a jump. And they said if you don't do it right, you could break your neck if you had a life belt on. That's one of the things you learn. So that's the size of these. They're a lot bigger than you think. And that big skyscraper thing in the middle, that used to be owned by British Telecom. And all the operators would be in there on the switchboard. And then you've got the church spires either side, you know. And if you look away to the top of the screen, I'm looking at the left, it might be your right, I don't know. But away at the top of the screen, about 1 o'clock to the big boat, that skyscraper, that's more or less the area that I live in. So it's a bit of geography in Aberdeen City.
Thank you, Peter. Right. Okay. Now I'll send Peter. Can you send a copy of the photo to Fons, because people on Royston Radio are going to want to see it for themselves, possibly.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be good. Speaking of Royston Radio, Fonz is going to send us a promo card we can actually show on screen and invite people. Because what happened last week, I was doing one of my Amazon shows and we're talking about music, doing a music quiz, music of the 70s, 10 multiple choice questions, and Si was answering most of the questions correctly. And then he bemoaned the fact that his radio station, his local oldies radio station, had closed down. And this was a physical radio station over there. And I said, go and listen to Royston Radio. Gave the link and everything. Do you know what he did? He and his friends went to listen to Royston Radio. So Royston Radio is now being broadcast over the internet to the USA.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Because it is, I mean, it is, most of the show is music. So if you want some good music and you want some DJs who are original to the station, then, you know, it's a good place to actually play music. I mean, if you could do a 60-minute show each week, then Fonz would host it. And you could be on Royston Radio playing your own choice of music. Because Royston have got a license to play copyrighted music. So no problem there. You could play your best songs, your favorite songs in a 60-minute audio file. Send it to Fonz and you're on Royston Radio if you liked it. So that basically is to anybody who's listening who happens to be a budding DJ. Age doesn't matter. It's musical taste that matters. Okay. Right. Two things. One is the dam. Who did it? Who blew up the dam?
Nobody will admit that, will they?
No.
Well,
No.
there was a military person on last night speaking about this, and they reckon they flooded the Russian occupied area because there's more of the water gone there than the Curzon side, because they're going to withdraw from that. Well, they have withdrawn from that area, and it will make them much more difficult for the people on the left-hand bank, which is Ukraine, to attack the Russians on the right-hand bank, and that it's a tactical maneuver.
Yeah. Well, it's a tactical move affecting thousands of people's lives.
Hundreds of thousands, isn't it?
Hundreds of thousands. Yeah.
I was listening to a program last night and they asked a question on a poll. Who done it? 79% of people, I think it was, said it was the Ukraine.
Right.
But why would they do it? It wouldn't benefit them.
No.
Well, that's just how that people were thinking.
Was this a Scottish programme?
No, it was not. It was a worldwide program. Interesting.
Right. Oh, to Alfredo. Oh, right. Alfredo's upstairs. Yeah. So basically, the offensive has started or hasn't started. Counteroffensive. Just no way of seeing an end to this. We've been talking about this since it began, and there just seems no way out, no way of compromise, no way of the two warring countries getting together and reaching a deal.
Do you know what?
The problem is, one is 27 times the size of the other. That's the real reality. And Ukraine is not small.
No. Do you know what came up in the conversation, though?
No.
Somebody wrote, can people write in when it's live and said, somebody said, terrible thing to do, and this is, that's what the dam busters done during the Second World War.
It is totally true that is the case. They flooded the valley to cripple industry.
Yeah. And many lives were lost in that, so it's a hard one, is it? I've actually been on that dam. Did you know that? Windsurfing.
Nope.
I've been on it. The Mona Z Dam. Been on it.
Well, there was more than one dam in the Dam Busters, though, wasn't there?
Yeah, but this was the Mona Z Dam. But see, you look at carpet bombing in from the past as well. You know, you're not allowed to do it anymore. You know, and I don't know if is it an act of is it a war crime to burst that dam? It's about war is
But
about
the biggest thing, though, is there's 78 years of difference between the two sets of dam destruction, isn't there? And our perception of things has changed considerably in 78 years.
Yeah. But war is about denying the other of resources,
Yeah.
the supply chain. Get their supply chain, and they've had it. And yeah, it's quite interesting.
Right. From events which affect, well, this still affects us all. The county council have decided they're getting too much flack in Wiltshire, and therefore they're going to hold a meeting, a virtual meeting, and the topic is one which affects everybody anywhere in the UK, and that meeting is all about potholes. I mean, it's becoming. We're getting, the weather's changing, and the road surfaces are just crumbling. Yeah, and you get one hole, and it just grows and grows and grows and grows. I mean, our council respond quickly if a sort of local councillor says, "Come on, get this one sorted." Then they do have the power to do that. But the guys came along and they just tarmacked over the hole. Net result of which is that the tarmac they've just put on actually sinks down into the hole.
Yeah.
So you've got quick fixes and permanent repairs. And there's just not enough money for fixing potholes. The whole road structure in the UK is falling into disrepair, John.
No, I can tell you something about that. I actually done trials when I worked in road traffic management. We sealed off the road. Well, I followed a new machine that done potholes. Right, they came up with, and my job was in the big lorry with the big bumper and the arrow. It's called an impact protection vehicle. It's called, and I followed them, and they were trialing patching in Surrey with a new machine in the back of a lorry, and they would take it, put it out, and stamp it in, and move on, you know. But it's but what's happening nowadays is it's all about applying a plaster to a problem for a while, and no matter, my business is the same, because so overwhelmed at the moment, and you just get that one customer, "Oi, I'm needing you now," you know. If they're an ongoing, so it's very, very, very difficult. I done a little survey yesterday. You ever survey your business and see what's happening? Quickly. So out of my monthly calls, 261, 30% of them were returning customers.
Good.
Okay. And 33 point something percent was searches on the internet. And so I was very happy with that. But it tells me I've got to do more marketing and get more customers in other ways. So at the moment, I'm getting thermometers made with my name in them to go into businesses and leave them with them and say, "Here, put on your wall." And they'll see my name every day. Pete's marketing tip for this week.
When I first started doing marketing, I was taught that you had to have your name seen 13 times before it stuck.
Right.
That was quite a few years ago, but I still think it's true.
Well, as one thing, that's another thing that come up and says, "Where'd you get the name?" And they've seen my vans going about. I get that quite a lot now, you know, because I made the decision a while back to make my pest control business big lettering, big logo, so everybody could see it, and it has done me no problem whatsoever. Great.
The probably one of the best things that I mean, you know, I've got one customer that I do a lot
Yeah.
of work with, and I
Yeah.
was just looking for an example, and I have got one somewhere. That one of the best marketing things we did with them is an exceedingly high quality thing you stand your glass or your cup of coffee on, etc.
Right.
Yeah, and we still see them 11 years after they were produced. People are still using them because they were a really high quality job.
Yeah. I mean,
Every day because they put the cup of coffee on top of the logo and name.
yeah. Andy said to me the one that they like are pens, a good pen. We do that.
Yeah,
And
it runs out though. Nobody will go out and buy a refill for a good pen. So it's easier to just give them a cheaper disposable thing.
yeah, we also give them a fridge magnet for local, non-commercial. But there's no point going in with a business card because a lot of them, yeah, okay. But if you give them something useful like a temperature gauge to put in their fridge outside in their takeaway or whatever, at least they're seeing the name all the time and they can use it.
Yeah.
So this is the marketing 10 minutes, folks. What about you, Stephen? What's your best bit of marketing?
But right, okay. My best bit of marketing is the fact that I go live on.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Yeah.
It's basically going live. Each time I go live, it's actually building a brand for Be Live or for Wave, or especially this week for OneStream, because this week is, just a minute, thank you for the in, Peter. One of the best ways of marketing is when a team of people do it. I'm just going to load an image now, hopefully. Let me go here. And it gives me a chance to talk about this.
Okay.
This week has been, and it's loading. And it says it's loaded 100%, so I can bring it into the studio. And I can hopefully put it like this. Just going to move you, Peter, just a second.
What a handsome man I've turned out at my age.
Right. This week has been, this is our promotion week is this, and this is promoting the producers, Nick Wood, Stephen Healy, Brigitte Limbanda, Joe Shepherd, Lillian Moyler. So you've got Nick from England, me from England, Brigitte from South Africa, Joe Shepherd from Ireland, Lillian Moyler from Switzerland, Marco Nova from Portugal, Linda Sunshine West from San Diego, and Lottie Hearn from Ireland. So it's an international team. And this week we've been talking about, Monday was Marco Novo with StreamYard. Tuesday was Nick with Be Live. Wednesday was me with Wave, which is the system I use to broadcast on Amazon Live at 9 a.m. every day. And today is a special show. It's a Streamlabs Talk Studio show. Now, if you've not heard of Streamlabs Talk Studio, this is not surprising. It used to be called Melon until last week. And it's been renamed now as Streamlabs Talk Studio. So we're broadcasting on there today. And that's Linda and myself. And I'm intrigued. In the last 12 months, Linda has created a book publishing company and published books for, I don't know, countless numbers of authors. So I want to know how she's done it. I want to know how Linda has gone from zero to being a recognized book publisher. This is self-publishing. So I'm going to find out all about it today. The show is at 3 p.m., 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK. And then tomorrow is myself and Joe Shepherd on OneStream Live. And we'll be talking about using OneStream Live for business to promote your business and the services that our new joint venture can provide to enable you to go live on OneStream Live without even knowing it. In other words, we'll do it for you. And we were talking about pricing of packages yesterday, so it's becoming a reality. And tomorrow, well, basically on the Tuesday show with Nick, Be Live got involved and gave 30% off one of their packages. And on Friday, OneStream are going to be involved, and they're going to let me know what they're giving away on Friday as well. And we may well, fingers crossed, have somebody from OneStream actually in the studio with Joe and I. So this is our big promotion, Peter, in terms of marketing because we're actually marketing the 8 of us and 5 different systems. Okay, and it has to be said that I actually work for BeLive on OneStream. So I work for BeLive on OneStream and I use web video every day. Okay, I've never been on StreamYard. In other years it's been going, and Streamlabs is new or newish, so we'll be looking at that as well. I did today. That's what I'm doing today, isn't it? I said.
I'll tell you who I've seen a lot of lately popping up on TikTok. Do you know who it is?
No.
Brigitte.
Oh, Brigitte, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you've seen her. She looks like a different woman, to be honest with you. She's all dolled up and everything and moving about and things, you know. She's on TikTok quite a lot. Hi, Brigitte, if you're looking in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also David Burrows' exploits. I see him going about on his motorbike and things. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, I've seen that as well. He and his lady out on their motorbikes, tearing up the Canadian highway.
Here's a strange thing. They really must listen. I got a new inquiry from a fish and chip shop here in Aberdeen. I won't say the name. And then we're speaking to the technician about it. And lo and behold, you know what come up on Facebook?
Yes.
The chip shop with an advert. Are they listening to us?
Yep. They are listening. They're reading what we write.
That is not fair. Is that fair?
It's basically, if you could find where to opt out, Peter, then you can stop them doing it. But they make it so difficult to opt out that you say, well, you know, I mean, it occasionally it works for you in our favor because they show you something that you've been thinking about, and they've given you basically where to go and get it. So to that extent, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if we've been talking about non-reflective glasses today, so I've no doubt that as soon as we finish this show, in our timeline,
check Facebook.
our timelines on Facebook,
We'll see how long it takes to come up. Did you see me at the weekend out in my camper van for the first time in a long time?
Yeah.
I missed it. John did.
John saw it. So what I'm doing is I just bought a wetsuit to go in the water with the dogs in that river and going back. Great place. Yeah.
So somewhere on the road, Peter.
It's on Royal Deeside Road, and it's a place called Potarch, Potarch. Now, what used to lie there was a thing called the Dinny Stones. Have you heard of the Dinny Stones?
No.
Okay. The Dinny Stones are 2 massive round stones. And look them up. Massive, right?
Yeah.
And people I don't know if they still are, a man called Dinny picked them up and he took them and he walked across the bridge with them. How he done it, I do not know. Because they've now got like handles in them. And people come all over the world. I think there's a competition where they try to pick up the Dinny Stones. And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing, the size of them. I do not know how we do it. And also at that Potarch Bridge, there's a wee X put in the bridge, and that's where people jump in, tombstoning, you know. But you've got to step off and drop, because if you jump out, there's a massive rock waiting for you, right? And
total madness.
And the day I remember, there was a Dutch couple, and the place was absolutely jam-packed. They both took their clothes off. And I'm on top, and I says, "Excuse me, my dear." She goes, I says, "Hey, very nice view. However, it's illegal." All the kids and everything were looking. They're not caring in the world, this couple. Oh.
Wait a minute. Switch Peter's microphone off. Right, so switch Peter's microphone off. He's got a phone call coming through. Remember that Peter broadcasts with us from his office, and he Gets the occasional phone call, just in the same way John gets the occasional parcel.
Yeah. I am the parcel collection depot for all of my children.
Yeah.
Because they're never at home if parcels are delivered to them.
Right. I did say last week that I was looking forward to getting gigabit internet last Friday. And they turned up on time. They did a bit of a survey before they came in. And then they came in and they checked out the TP-Link router and they were happy with that, happy with the plug-in point and everything. And then they said, okay, we have a problem. We cannot install gigabit internet to your property. Because in order to do it, you have to have a telegraph pole in line of sight, straight line to the telegraph pole. What they can't do any longer, which is what BT have done, is to go from the telegraph pole to the neighbour's roof and then across. Can't do that anymore. That is forbidden. So because we can't see the telegraph pole from our front window, they can't give us the cable, which is just, I mean, Angelica got paid because we've got cables going across property. So we have won in that respect because we've been paid for the rights of way for cabling. But this is just so frustrating. Yeah, so I can see the telegraph pole. Yeah, I could put the darn cable up, but not allowed to do that. It's got to be done professionally. And now they've said you can't go over an adjoining property. You can't invade somebody's property. John?
Well, the telegraph pole is at the other side of my next door neighbour's, and the telegraph pole cable comes straight across for BT, across his and into my house. And then it does the next door neighbour to me, this side, and it goes to 3 houses the other side.
Yeah.
And that same telegraph pole has the gigabit box on the top.
Yeah, it used to be legal to do that. It used to be common sense to do that. It used to be the cheapest way of doing it.
Very interesting to how they're going to provide it down. My daughter's moved into a brand new house. There are no telegraph poles in there. And another interesting thing is there's only about of the third of the number of lampposts in their road than there, because the lampposts are all modern digital lighting. And so they don't need as many lampposts. But there are no telegraph poles. And there is wiring on the front of the house ready to put the digital telephony and digital cabling into the house. They and distributed around the house already.
No,
sorry, Peter. Where there isn't a telegraph pole handy, they can dig up the road. But obviously that has an expense, and it also makes it, on a new estate, just makes it look like a patchwork quilt when it doesn't need to. Yeah. Right, anyway, I didn't finish the story, which I'll do, and then back to you, Peter. Basically, we have visit number 2 tomorrow. And they're coming armed with a bracket, and the bracket will go on top of the telegraph pole, and hopefully then they can go.
And they can circumvent your neighbour. To the left.
They left last Friday. They ordered the bracket. The bracket arrived on Wednesday. They made a new appointment on Wednesday for tomorrow. So fingers crossed that the bracket actually works. Peter?
There's always a way. Now, just to let you know, since you've done it, I'll give you my speed today. Remember, I'm using Deco outside. Today, it's 38 download and 18.6 upload. Just to let you know. Right. But what Sheila doesn't know, what she doesn't know, so we had a problem. Ours is coming from the old cable network, cable TV network with BT. And mine comes in and this says, we can't do it unless you dig up this paving pattern. And one guy, intelligent guy, says, no, I'll tell you what we'll do. There's a big boring thing. He says, I'll take it like, and we'll go underneath. And he done it, right? And I said, good for you. You'll go far. So then I got my cable in. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But what Sheila doesn't know is I'm getting an ex-BT engineer to come in to see if he can get a cable out to the garage so I can go hardwired. And that'll tickle me pink. When I tickle her, but I'm not caring.
Before John asks the question, I'm going to ask you why.
Why?
Yeah.
So I can be super duper speed.
Yeah, can get the full benefit of Cat 6 which means you can go up to 3,000 megabits on a Cat 6.
Well,
you're going to ask my question again. Why?
Because he needs the performance.
Just want it fast so I can say,
what will it change? If you go to Amazon Prime and you watch a 90-minute movie, how long does it take to watch it?
90 minutes.
Right, good. Okay, if you got a gigabit download and upload, how long does it take to watch it?
Whatever it takes.
Depends whether you're streaming it or downloading it and watching it.
Yeah, so, but if you're
streaming it, provided you've got a reasonable speed, it makes no difference. But if you're downloading things, say you're buying a movie that you're going to be able to watch multiple times, it makes a massive difference, because something that on a high performance link takes 30 seconds can take as long as 10 minutes. But again, it's, do you need it? Why need it? But if you've already got it coming into the building and the only cost to you is to put a cable between the router and your PC, you know, you might as well buy the one-off cost.
So why shouldn't I get it then, Stephen, in your opinion?
No, I'm just saying on a practical, the only practical difference is you can make two differences to me.
Right.
One, I'll be able to broadcast using my 4K cameras to YouTube because I need a 20 megabyte upload and I don't have that at the moment. And the second thing is, I hope she's not listening, but the second thing is that Angelica uses Dropbox.
Yes.
And Dropbox is a nefarious piece of software which only the dedicated use, because the way it works is it actually mirrors everything.
But that's exactly what Office 365 does.
Yeah, just why? Anyway, that's so there's the two real benefits. I won't get stopped, and the other thing is that when I'm uploading to Google Drive or to YouTube, it just won't stop the network.
Well, what I wouldn't do for is I can meet you on a Thursday and I can go, oh, look at the speed I'm getting here now.
And funny enough, Virgin Media gave us a free upgrade this week, and they increased gigabit customers. That's the people who get a download of roughly 1,000 megabits. Double upload. So upload went from 52 meg to 104, and I'm getting about 98 on an upload.
Yeah.
I've got to say, the only difference I see is when I'm sitting in my house on a mobile phone, putting it on and going, oh, look at the speed I'm getting. I don't think it's really made any difference but what I do notice, and one day I put it on early, and everybody must have known it internet at the same time, because it was slower than it was at other times. So it's quite interesting to do it during the day to see the speed times, you know. But if you can see me on here and I'm looking good and more handsome, I'm quite happy.
You're looking better every week, Peter. John, it's over to you.
Just to answer Alfredo's thing, we're connecting Cat 5 physically to the back of the router, and the ports on the router can handle full performance.
Right.
So we're going now. So it's goodbye from the man with the boats, Boaty McBoatface and co. It's goodbye from the man in the southwest, the nearly southwest, and it's goodbye from me in the Midlands. Same place, same time next week for 749, is it next week?
379.
Sorry?
379.
Yeah, okie doke. Yeah. It feels like 479 though.
I'll take 479, John. That gives us another 2 years. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye for now.
Guten Tag.